Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar sharing featuring the academic programs, global opportunities, and career preparation that you can look forward to here at NUS. I am Grace, and I'll be your MC for today. Thank you for taking time to join us. The sharing you will hear this afternoon will be jointly presented by the Dean of Admissions, Professor Goh Se Song, Associate Vice President of the Global Relations Office, Professor Ruben Wong, and Director of the NUS Center for Future Ready Graduates, Ms. Joan Tay. After their presentations, there will be a Q&A segment with our speakers. If you have any questions, we greatly appreciate if you could please write them down in the Q&A tab below, and we will answer them towards the end of this webinar. Thank you for your patience. So Professor Goh Se Song is the Dean of Admissions at the National University of Singapore, NUS. A mathematician by training, he received his bachelor's degree from the University of Oxford in 1988 and his master's and PhD degrees from the University of Michigan Ann Arbor in 1990 and 1992 respectively. He joined NUS's Department of Mathematics in 1994. He is highly passionate about education and has received numerous teaching awards, including the University Outstanding Educator Award in 2009. His research interests are on the theory and applications of wavelets, approximation theory, and harmonic analysis. And he also participates in interdisciplinary research involving the practical use of mathematics. Associate Professor Ruben Wong is the Associate Vice President of the Global Relations Office in NUS. He is an Associate Professor jointly in the College of Alice and Peter Tan, CAP for short, and the Department of Political Science. Prof. Wong's research focuses on European integration, foreign policy, and the politics of disability. He teaches interdisciplinary modules in CAP, international relations in political science, and is a fellow in the Teaching Academy. He was formerly a diplomat based in Paris. Ms. Joan Tay is the Director of Center for Future Ready Graduates in NUS, who is constantly engaging employers and students in conversations to help young graduates diversify their career pathways. Ms. Tay is responsible for driving innovative initiatives to prepare and foster resilience in NUS graduates and prepare for a dynamic world. She engages actively with both local and global employers to build a strong talent pipeline for their organizations through internships and graduate recruitment. So without further ado, let's begin the session. Prof. Goh, please.
Thank you, Grace. And I'm very happy to meet all of you here for today's session. Now, today's session is actually not a typical admission talk, but it is more of an integrated session on academic programs, global opportunities, and career preparation. So I will cover the academic programs part, and Prof. Ruben Wong will talk about global opportunities, and Ms. Joan Tay will talk about the career preparation. And later on, at the end of this webinar, you will notice that how these three different aspects of a student's learning journey can be integrated together. So let me first share screen for my slides first, and we'll get going. So as you all know, at this moment, you are at an important juncture of your life. You are looking for a course to study. You are looking for a university to go to. So let me first welcome you to the NUS experience, and let me explain to you some of the facts and figures of NUS. NUS is consistently ranked among the best in Asia and top 25 universities globally. Because we are a research-intensive, comprehensive university, we are very large, and therefore we are able to offer a wide suite of bachelor's degree programs. We have more than 60 bachelor's degrees programs, and we have a very vibrant student life with more than 200 clubs and societies and interest groups. Today's session will focus on the global exposure that we can provide you. We have more than 300 partner universities in 40 countries. Today, we will also talk about the employability of our graduates. Our graduates are always within the top 10 in the world for global employability. So let me first go straight into what kind of education programs do we offer you. And to answer that question, let me highlight the 4 key pillars of the NUS education. The first key pillar is common curriculum. Common curriculum in the sense that for students in a certain cluster of courses, like for example, humanities and sciences or on design and engineering, there is a common curriculum, and that common curriculum forms the foundation, the basis of that course of study. Then every student will choose a major. It could be a major in humanities and sciences. It could be a major in design and engineering, computing, business, and so on and so forth. Then, apart from common curriculum and the major, there is a third space that we have in the NUS curriculum, and that is unrestricted electives. Literally and figuratively speaking, unrestricted electives means you can do anything that you desire. And that brings us to the second pillar of the NUS education, flexible pathway. Because of the unrestricted elective space, we let you choose what you want to do. If you want to deepen your expertise in a major using that space by doing some specialization, no problem. If you want to have multiple competencies and you want to complement with another subject as a second major or minor, that is also possible. And because of this pairing, you will actually have an opportunity to learn across discipline. And therefore, we have an interdisciplinary approach in teaching and learning across discipline. And this interdisciplinary approach, and this will actually enables you to solve complex problems in the real world by experiential learning. And of course, we also want to facilitate lifelong learning journeys of our graduates. So if you can look at the list of majors that we really have a wide suite of majors. We allowed you a lot of choices to choose your academic path. If you are interested in humanities and sciences, you can do a major in arts and social sciences, you can do a major in science, or you can even do a major in what we call a cross-disciplinary program, where we actually integrate 2 disciplines together. For example, data science and economics. On the other hand, if you're interested in design and engineering, you can do a major in design, architecture, industrial design, or you can do one of the majors in engineering. We also have several majors for business studies, and we also have several majors for computing studies. At the same time, we have professional schools like medicine, dentistry, and law. And we also have unique learning opportunities like music, nursing, and pharmacy. And we're the only universities in Singapore that offers courses like music, nursing, and pharmacy. So let me just take this opportunity to highlight to you some of the recent development that we have in terms of academic programs. Now, one of the biggest innovation last year was the formation of the College of Humanities and Sciences. This actually provides an enhanced undergraduate learning experience for students of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Faculty of Science. And this enables us to deliver interdisciplinary learning at scale. Last year, we took in about 2,000 students in the College of Humanities and Sciences. And because the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Faculty of Science are 2 of the largest faculty in the university, so you can imagine the scale of impact. We have a deliberate curriculum curation. We have a very nice common curriculum that is specifically for humanities and sciences. And we have created a nice space for students to do second major and minor. So suddenly this opens up unparalleled flexibility. You can actually do a major in life sciences, and then you can do a second major in psychology in the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. No problem. You can do a major in economics, and you can do a second major or minor in mathematics, for example. And you can actually, this kind of unparalleled flexibility, you have a wide choices. We have special package for you. We also allowed you to design your own package. And riding on the success of the College of Humanities and Sciences, this year, in this academic year, 2022, we are going to launch the College of Design and Engineering. We have 2 faculties and schools, Faculty of Engineering and the School of Design and Environment, 2 very well-established faculties and schools in NUS. We have merged them together to form the College of Design and Engineering to provide greater choice, greater breadth, and flexibility in student-centric curriculum. After all, design and engineering are two closely related areas. So this actually presents opportunity for us to actually have a common curriculum for both design and engineering. At the same time, we actually provide flexibility. In the past, if you want to apply to the Faculty of Engineering, you will apply to, let's say, mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, but now we allow you to just apply to engineering. The moment you are accepted into the engineering course, then you can choose any of the majors under engineering with no further selection. It's guaranteed that you will get the major that you desired under the engineering course. And this, at the same time, we created a space for second major or minor or specialization. And this opens new learning pathways. And the second major and minor is not restricted to the same college like design and engineering. You can essentially do a primary major, first major in mechanical engineering. And mechanical engineering is related to physics. You can do a minor in physics to enhance your learning. You can even do another minor in the College of Humanities and Sciences in mathematics to enhance this. So this actually opens up a lot of learning opportunity. Another innovation that we're rolling out in 2022 is NUS College. NUS College is our first undergraduate honors college that enhances the chosen major with a broad-based interdisciplinary curriculum. As you may know, NUS College actually combines the best features of our University Scholars Program and Yale NUS College. This is an add-on to your major. The major that you have chosen, that you're going to embark on, like in computing, in business, humanities and sciences, or engineering, one of those majors, any one of these, you can actually pair it up with NUS College so that you can actually enhance your academic depth and breadth. Essentially, what happens is that you will replace a certain percentage, depending on which course you are in, of your common curriculum of your home faculty. And then instead of doing that common curriculum, you take this innovative curriculum that NUS College provides that has a wealth of diverse local and global perspectives, experiential learning programs, and cross-cultural developmental opportunities. We also provide global pathways that can be embedded into the student exchange program and the NUS Overseas Colleges program. And this not only that you actually have all these global pathway innovative curriculum, there will be at least 2 years for you to stay within the on campus in our university town. So this actually enables you to learn, to live, and to study together with friends and professors from different disciplines altogether. And for your information, today NUS College is also having its open house. Feel free to attend their other sessions of NUS College to find out more. And like I said, it's possible for you to go beyond a single degree. You can do a double major or you can do a minor. You may wonder, what is a second major? What is the minor? Essentially, the currency is that for an NUS degree, you will take a total of 40 modules. Like if you have a major, primary major in humanities and sciences or in design and engineering, then the primary major space is 15 modules. And there is usually a space of at least 10 modules of unrestricted electives. You can do a second major. A second major, 10 modules. A minor takes 5 modules. So you can think of the kind of flexibility that you can play around with so that you can actually complement your first major. Some students are interested in a double degree. Is it possible to have 2 degrees? Now, 1 degree is 4 years, 2 degrees, does it mean 8 years? That's not the case. It's possible to have a double degree. You finish 2 degrees in a short period of time, and usually under our structure, you can finish a double degree between 4 to 5 years. And there are other opportunities like joint degrees that you take 2 degree that is jointly offered by NUS and a partner university. For some students who are very adventurous, you can even do an undergraduate and a master degree concurrently together. And we have an interesting campus, and you can actually stay on campus. And to stay on campus, there are actually 3 types of places you can stay. One is the traditional halls of residence, Raffles Hall, Shears Hall, Yusof Ishak Halls. These are the places that probably your parents, if they are NUS graduate, may have stayed there before. And there is a rich culture of student activities there, and you have a place to stay. The new kid on the block is residential colleges. And the difference is that there's still a rich culture, and at the same time, a place to stay, but you take classes that can be counted towards the part of the common curriculum of your major. And you live and you learn together with peers and professors from faculties across campus. And the third type is student residence. And the student residence is essentially a place to stay, less activity, but nevertheless, you get to meet international students from different countries, and you make friends with people from different countries. You notice that I'm gravitating towards international, and that brings up to the next part of the presentation that is talking about study abroad program. And I'll get my colleague, Prof. Reuben Wong, to tell you more about the study abroad programs of NUS. Reuben, you are mute.
Hello, I'm Reuben Wong, Associate Vice President for Global Relations at NUS, and I'm going to talk to you about the global programs. Thank you, Cesar. Let me share with you the slides. I hope you can see them. Give me a second. Can you see the slides? Okay, I assume you can see the slides.
Yeah, we can see the slide, but you want to get it to slideshow mode?
Okay.
Yes, excellent. Thank you very much, Reuben.
Thanks, Cesar. So last year, I spent about 10 minutes talking about overseas programs. It's a bit of a strange experience because we had a lot of restrictions. So this year, I think it's going to be a bit more real and a bit more fun. And why should you go abroad? I think many of you would have personal reasons, the love for travel and meeting people from other cultures and countries, brushing up maybe on your language skills and just networking globally. These are all things that really help in developing your own yourself and your own skills and personality, but also enhancing your resume. So these are very straightforward reasons why you should go. Based on a study that we did actually in NUS that my office, the Global Relations Office, commissioned, we found that the prior experience that students had in international mobility programs predicted cultural intelligence. So students or graduates were able to be more culturally sensitive, more able to adapt and be flexible in how they relate to people. And these are things which are, stand you in good stead, whatever profession you choose, or whatever job you might go into. Michelle Obama, the former First Lady of the US, put it very well. Studying abroad isn't just a fun way to spend a semester. It's becoming key to success in our global economy. It's about having a real experience with the world beyond your own borders. And I remember speaking to an American friend in Singapore who has moved his whole family here. He really wanted his children to grow up being good in Chinese. And I remember telling him, then Singapore might not be the right place. You should have gone to Shanghai or Beijing or Hong Kong instead. And he felt in the end, Singapore was the best mix of cultures. You can do things in English. You can also do things in Chinese, and his children are perfectly bilingual now. So you can see that lots of people know that and invest in going abroad. Here is the global exchange experiences that you can see on one slide. And the one which most students would be familiar with would be the semester-long student exchange program. And this is usually over one semester. Many students plan to do this usually from the end of the second year. Some students will wait to the first semester of their third year, and you have to time it according to the demands of your own home faculty. In the many countries which I will talk about later, where you could go. There are also short-term programs like summer programs, or what is sometimes called ISP. One of the most popular ISP programs is actually a winter program, oddly enough. This is in Korea, and they, in fact, many students did go abroad in November and December just last year to winter programs in Korea. And then there is the SSUE, where there's an undergraduate exchange agreement between Singapore and Chinese universities. That one, a smaller number of students. And finally, there are STEERs and IREPs. So the STEERs are basically study trips, and the study trips are heavily subsidized by NUS, but led by NUS faculty. It gives you an opportunity to explore countries which Singaporeans don't normally go to. So STEERs have taken students to the Middle East, countries like UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, taken students to Eastern Europe, Poland and Hungary, or for example, to the east of Europe, like the Balkan countries. We do try to avoid countries that might be undergoing war, so don't worry about safety. And then, of course, countries in South America, which most Singaporeans don't even go near. And finally, there are some international research attachment programs, very few, but just a few for undergraduates. So here on this slide, just a quick sense of what is involved. You get to earn modular credits on a pass-fail basis. So basically, when you go abroad, you can freeze your cap, your cumulative average point, and you get an opportunity to take modules in a university somewhere else, somewhere very different, and take modules which you might not be able to take in Singapore. Something to do with Thai history, for example, if you go to Thailand, something to do with French politics or French food, maybe if you go to Paris. And I'll just show you very quickly two students who have gone to France and Thailand, and you don't pay additional fees. So the NUS fees that you pay cover that semester that you spend in that foreign country. So here are the two students I was going to talk to you about. Mertis, who went to Sciences Po in Paris, and Hui Hui, who was a student who also stayed in a residential college in Newtown. She went to Thailand. And here are examples, more examples of other students for summer winter programs. On the top picture, students who went to Korea, who are taking part in the Hanyang International Summer School, and they went to forgive my Korean, Gyeongbokgung Palace, and the bottom picture, a student who went to a summer program in Yale, so at the library in Yale. So here's an opportunity for you without disrupting your academic schedule, and while fulfilling your academic requirements in NUS, to go on an opportunity to enrich yourself in a foreign university. We have also been able to make up for lost opportunities in the last 2 years because of COVID. We've had virtual summer programs where students, and in 3 pictures here, have gone to virtually India, Israel, and Thailand. And this is where my office either works on its own or works with other units in NUS to collaborate with our partners in overseas universities to learn more about the history, the politics, the culture, the economics, and other opportunities in these countries. And we've done so with, the pictures show, of course, India, Israel, and Thailand, but we've done so with Japan, Korea, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Africa as well. So please look out for these even as you embark on your NUS journey. Here are the places that are available. As you can see, the largest number of our partner universities, universities where NUS students can go for an exchange. They're concentrated in Europe because we have 168 universities in 25 countries, but also in the Americas, so Canada, the US, Mexico, one more Latin American country, 82 universities there. And then, the third largest group, or actually the second largest in Asia, many of the countries which I've already mentioned, but of course, some of them are yet to open. And we hope there will be opportunities soon in Hong Kong, in China, and Australasia. Cost, although I said that the tuition fee is covered by your paying NUS fees, there are students, of course, who will have to think long and hard about this. Not to worry, if you are in that category, there are NUS awards for study abroad, what we call NASA scholarships, where we will help you to with bursaries to go. And for NUS Singaporean students, you have you can qualify for up to 2,500. So you basically can get the NASA grant once during your NUS career, and we encourage you to even if you think you can't afford it, to apply for these loans. Some of them are based on merits, some of them are based on need. So you can apply either on merit, so you have very high grades, or based on need because the financial situation at home might be tight. And there are other awards also which are region specific, whether they're for China or Southeast Asia. We are also encouraging students in a big way to try Southeast Asia. Of course, we do travel in our own region, but you will be able to see and explore things which you can't normally do as a tourist. So we have special programs with our Southeast Asian partners where you can, for example, learn about ecotourism, learn about community projects that you can't normally do on a youth exchange or what you might have done in secondary school. So here are some links, and I hope you will look up NUS Global on Instagram, on Facebook, where you will be able to find out more about the opportunities that are available to all NUS students. So quickly leave this for a few more seconds so that you can see this. All right, so I think I can hand over to. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruben. So as you can see here, there is a very rich suite of study abroad programs that NUS offers. And another aspect that will actually, widen your horizon is what happens after your graduation and what kind of careers that you're going to take on. And we take the career preparation of our students very seriously. And now I get my colleague, Ms. Joan Tay, the director of the Center for Future Ready Graduates, to tell you more about the career preparations that we have. Joan, please.
Thank you so much, See Song. Well, at NUS, we offer you an education with an interdisciplinary lens. So combined with our 4-year roadmap, we offer you the career preparation you need to be future ready. Students will be guided on the kind of resources available and the things that you should be doing in each year to help you gain perspectives, the right kind of experience and skills. And from day one, every student will be assigned a career advisor who will journey with you throughout your years of study. Here's a testimony of a graduate experience with his career advisor. Yening, would you please help me?
Yeah. During my second year in university, I recognized that an internship was essential for me to experience the working culture and build up my soft skills. However, I had little knowledge on how to obtain an internship. Through NUS CFG's emails and friends' recommendations, it was made known to me that my faculty had a career advisor for economics majors. Ms. Teo patiently guided me through how a proper resume should be written and provided additional materials on how to improve. She also guided me on how to tackle a group interview. With all those preparations, I was successfully accepted into the Maritime Port of Authority Singapore's Global Internship Program, which provided me an opportunity to have an overseas stint in London. Throughout my university education, Ms. Teo has provided career support and guidance whenever necessary. I believe that this has sufficiently prepared me for the workforce. Thank you, Ms. Teo and CFG.
Thanks, Yan Ling. So indeed, our intent is to enhance our students' success. So in addition to all the credit-bearing career modules that we conduct, we also organize workshops to equip our students with the essential skills to help them land offers. And we take an inclusive approach. We just concluded a women's professional development program. Our female graduates benefited from the insights of women executives from varied backgrounds and seniority levels. They are now more aware and confident, knowing how they should be handling certain situations at work. And our students can also take this time while they are still in school to practice, hone their skills, and strengthen their personal brand. Partnering SG Enable, as well as employers with inclusive hiring practices, we provide dedicated care to students with special needs. And when we create a conducive experience, our students tend to perform better and find their place with employers. Our intervention continues to be precise. For students receiving financial aids, we feel that it's important to provide them with mentors who can be positive role models, offering sound advice, helping students broaden their networks and open doors for them. One of the mentors referred his mentees to a friend who works in an MNC. And not long after, we found that the mentee actually received an internship offered in the MNC. So this is the kind of empowerment that we would like to give to different segments of our students. There are tremendous opportunities to hear from industry leaders on emerging trends, go to company visits to learn more about the nature of their businesses, the innovations taking place, and the workplace complexities. Build networks with senior leaders, and also interact with alumni, recruiters from a wide range of industry, including those in the non-profits. Despite the pandemic, our students continue to forge ahead with their aspirations to gain overseas exposure. Even in remote internships, students get to collaborate with colleagues from overseas office and gain competencies working on cross-cultural projects. Well, though CFG is not able to bring students on physical career tracks, we organize virtual visits to companies in Indonesia and Vietnam to acquaint our students with the developments in these emerging economies in ASEAN. Well, when it comes to internships and the pursuit of it, our students are relentless. You can see the interest is very strong and the competition stiff. And for those students who start their planning early, many are able to land multiple internships. And for those who perform well at internships, they landed early job offers with employers. So internships is important because employers tend to prefer to hire graduates who already have documented experiences in actual work environments. Well, we are relentless too, to continue to push the boundaries for our students. So in January, the Minister of Education as well as NUS President launched 2 new digital platforms, IAAS, which stands for Internship as a Service, and Connect Us. The IAAS allows students to undertake well-defined projects offered by employers during the academic semester, as long as students are able to fulfill the deliverables while studying at the same time. This is in sync with the rise of the gig economy. So students get paid, they can claim modular credits and put their IAS experience in the CV. This will expand the horizons of our students as a number of projects come from businesses from around the world. And with Connect Us, NUS now has a professional networking platform for our students to connect with alumni and tap on broader opportunities. As an NUS graduate, you have become part of this global network for life. So our students, our graduates have options. So and see from some of the Yanning, perhaps we turn back to the earlier slide. Yes, as you can see from some of the opportunities or the careers that the students have secured, a lot of them went to different pathways from their degree of studies. We have students who graduated with life science but went into management consulting. We have students who did a major in political science but was hired by GovTech in cyber security. We also have students who were able to secure global opportunities, like Sharan, who will be working in UK. And also Xiaoxing with a philosophy degree. She also managed to take herself to a career in management consulting. Thanks, Yanning. So it is really satisfying to see our students making their mark in society and contributing back. Now I will end my presentation by encouraging you to attend 2 upcoming sessions that will be offered by my CFG colleagues this coming Monday. With employers having more ambitious plans and the aspirations of students shifting. I hope you will join my colleagues and discover how you can stay ahead of the curve in an ever-changing landscape. Thank you. Sisong, I hand the time back to you.
Thank you, Joan. I really liked what you say about staying ahead of the curve in an ever-changing landscape. So you have heard what my 2 colleagues have presented about the opportunity to study abroad and also to prepare your future careers. So the next question you will ask is that, let me bring back my slide so that I can answer the next question. And the next question you will ask is that, how can I apply? Sorry. Okay, so the question now is that, how do we take the first step forward to get into NUS about applying for a desired course of study? So firstly, I would just want to highlight that actually, we do actually provide scholarships to our students. And NUS, we have our flagship scholarships, which is the NUS Global Merit Scholarship or NUS Merit Scholarship for well-rounded high achievers. We also have a special scholarship for sports and visual arts for those who have these special talents in this area. All these scholarships, they are open to Singapore citizens who have outstanding academic results, strong leadership qualities and potential, and very good extracurricular activities. Now, there are other scholarships as well, and do visit our website and you can find out more. And there are some scholarships for that is donated generously by donors as well. Now, some students may say that all these particular programs that we have, to study in NUS, to stay in the residential college, to go for study abroad programs, all this, it seems that actually it's very attractive, but nevertheless, it may cost quite a lot of money in terms of tuition fees, in terms of living expenses. Now, I want to assure everybody that our financial support is always there for you. Our admissions policy is merit-based and needs-blind. Financial difficulty will not impact the way that we assess you. And if you look at the wide list of financial aid schemes that we have bursaries, the HECB or HEB bursaries by the government, or NUS own bursary. NUS own bursaries were set up through generous donation by our donors, and we're actively building up the pool of resources that we have for NUS bursaries. At the same time, if you're interested to have an on-campus stay, we have hall, residential program, residential college bursaries and grants. And like what Prof. Ruben Wong has mentioned, if you hope to go for 1 semester overseas, we do have study abroad bursaries, the NASA bursaries as well. And there are new initiatives that we have enhanced our financial aid system. And one of them is this opportunity enhancement grant to top up whatever shortfall that you have in the earlier bursaries. If all these are still of an issue, there's always the ability for you to take loans, tuition fee loan, NUS study loan, or you can use CPF education loan or PSEA funding. Essentially, what if you're interested in studying in NUS, financial challenges should not be a problem. I take this opportunity to highlight a little bit more about our latest announcement. You may hear that earlier this month, in February, we have announced our enhanced financial aid scheme for full-time Singaporean undergraduate students. Now, what does this scheme actually tell you? Now, what this scheme does is that we really want to help the students who wanted all these experiences but did not have a chance to do that. For students whose per capita income is not more than $1,000, NUS bursary will top up the government bursary to provide full coverage of tuition fees. That means students with PCI not more than $1,000, they do not have to pay tuition fees at all. How does this work? Now, I know that certain courses are more expensive, like medicine, dentistry, law are much more expensive than the others. Business courses are more expensive than, let's say, computing courses, more expensive than humanities and sciences courses or engineering courses. Now, regardless of which course you are in, we will make sure that NUS bursary will top up the government bursary so that there is no need to pay any fees. For students whose per capita income is not more than $690, not only will we top up the fees, we will actually provide you with $4,000 per year for your living expenses under NUS bursary. At the same time, we do realize that there are attractive options for you, attractive opportunities for you to gain by staying on campus for 1 year or going for a student exchange program. And no doubt that we do have bursaries for on-campus stay and overseas programs, but there is often a shortfall. And some students may find that this actually deter them of having the opportunity to go overseas. So we have a new initiative called the Opportunity Enhancement Grant. We will give every student with PCI not more than $690, $10,000 to be claimed over 4 years. You will still have your normal bursaries for on-campus stay or overseas program. Whatever shortfall that we have calculated based on the estimated cost, you can use the Overseas Enhancement Grant to top it up so that you will have this opportunity. And essentially, you can apply for financial aid, you can apply for scholarship, and then the key question is that, how do I apply for admission? So to apply for admission, my advice to you is that you show us your strengths. 2 things that we look out for when students apply for admission. That is passion and aptitude. How do we recognize your passion? We understand that if you're very passionate in a particular course, you will put that course down as your first choice among the 8 choices that you were given. In that case, for the first choice course, the course that you put down as the first choice, if it is not an interview course, a course that is that requires additional tests, like what I've mentioned at the end of the screen here, medicine, dentistry, law, and some of the design courses, then you will get a first choice bonus point. Like for example, if your A-level rank point is 80, and if you put, let's say, humanities and sciences or engineering as the first choice, then we will give you an additional bonus points of 2.5. And therefore, your rank point will be up to 82.5. So my advice to you is that make good use of this so that you choose your first choice wisely so that we know what is your passion so that we can recognize your passion. Second thing, aptitude. Now, aptitude for students that may have achievements beyond academic grades. We want to look beyond this. We want to give you the opportunity that you deserve. So if you are very passionate about something, you have track record but may not be reflected by, let's say, your A-level results, we will look into this and we will call you out for aptitude-based admission interview. So do provide the details under achievement on the application form. So some of the things we consider include your ability, your interest in the subject, work experience, leadership, community service, or any exceptional talent that you have. So this is a checklist of what you must do when you apply. Mark down the timeline, the deadline, and then look at the indicative grade profile that so they have a sense about what was the cutoff last year. But of course, the cutoff last year may not be the cutoff this year, because every year, what you see on the website was actually last year's indicative grade. But nevertheless, it will give you a sense. Look for the subject prerequisite, because we need to make sure that you have the foundation to do well in the subject. So therefore, make sure that you apply for a course that you actually meet the subject prerequisite. If you are concerned about the expenses, use our financial needs calculator, apply for financial aid, apply for scholarship as well, 2 separate portals, make good use of the first choice bonus point, and list your achievement under aptitude-based admission. And so if you need more information, do visit our website, and or you visit us on social media, and you can actually write into us as well at the nus.edu/ask-admissions, and we'll be very happy to actually answer your questions. So with this, I have finished my presentation part, and I'll pass the time back to Grace first before we move on to the next segment.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Goh, Prof. Wong, and Ms. Tay for your insightful sharing. So we'll now move on to the Q&A segment. So if you have any questions or queries, you can write them down in the Q&A tab. Additionally, you can use the upvote function to let us know the questions that you're interested in. So I'll hand the time now back to Prof. Goh, who will be moderating the Q&A segment. Prof. Goh, please.
Thank you, Grace. And I'm so happy to have Joan and Ruben together with me, because we noticed that there are already a lot of questions coming in while we are talking. And let me just start off. Let's try to answer as many questions as possible in the next 25 minutes or so. And so I think the first question that I want to highlight and notice is that there was actually submitted when people sign up for the webinar. There is this question about how is the accessibility of internship opportunities and study abroad programs during the present COVID-19 situation. Now, I do notice that during the presentation, both of you have highlighted what you have done last year when the COVID situation was very bad. Now, the COVID situation, now that with high vaccination rate, VTL, so what are the situation now going forward, especially for our prospective students here that are going to come in AY 2022? So what is the outlook for, overseas programs and internship opportunities? So maybe we can get Joan to, so if I may, Ruben, let's get Joan first, ladies first, to answer the question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
Yeah, so you can see that from our presentations, students are not deterred at all, and the interest is strong. So with international travel slowly resuming, and we are more equipped to also manage the endemic, we are hopeful to see more of our overseas partners offering overseas internship opportunities. Strictly speaking, we are already starting to see the increase of such requests for interns from overseas employers. So I think the outlook is positive.
Okay, Ruben, maybe you want to add on to that?
Hello. Oops. Hello. Sorry, my wire came up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, outlook has been very positive for us as well. As you know, when COVID started and when the WHO declared it a global pandemic, this was March 2020. We very soon recalled all our students. So that was a quite a mad rush to get everybody safely back. And so we did not have any exchange programs from March 2020 until the end of last year, 2021. So there was about almost a 2-year break. But this semester in January, we were able to send close to 1,000 students out. So this represents about 80% of the number we send out each semester. So each semester we send out 1,200 to 1,300 students. We're back to about 80%. Of course, Australia, Hong Kong, China, have not resumed because their countries are not taking in students just yet. But most other countries are, and Canada, UK, Europe, US, most of these countries are open now. So do look forward to that. And I also mentioned, aside from the student exchange programs, the short-term things that we're having, like summer, winter programs, they're on track. So you will have summer, winter programs. They've already started in Korea last year. We will have others in summer this year. And many of the US universities like Berkeley, UCLA, also opening up for their summer programs. So yeah, things are looking, I think, on the uptick right now.
Yes, I agree. I think things are looking better now, and I believe that there will be more than just virtual exchange or virtual internship. You should be able to have. We look forward to this, and that yes, I do agree that COVID has actually affected some of our students who came in last year or the year before, but hopefully things will work out better for all of you who are coming in this year. Now, I saw that there are many questions coming fast and furious, and one of the questions which I noticed that many students are very interested in, internship opportunities, overseas exchange opportunity. So one of the questions they ask is that, what is the percentage of our students who actually get a chance to go for overseas exchange, or what is the percentage of students who get a chance to do an internship? And so what are kind of selection criteria does the university has for this? Maybe let's hear from Ruben first about study abroad opportunities, and is it difficult to get? Because I'm sure many young people would like to see the world, not so much about to see the world as just to explore, but more about the additional learning opportunities that is there.
Actually, you'll be glad to know that the university's goal, and MOE is also supporting us, is that we would like 100% of students to have an overseas study abroad experience. So the reason why we don't have this yet is because many students, or at least some students in certain faculties, feel that their program is already very heavy, and some faculties, of course, are not able to allow students to go abroad as part of their semester. So, if you come from, say, medicine, which has a very structured program, it is a bit difficult. So for students who are from these kinds of faculty, I would encourage you to take the other opportunities which are less time sensitive, So if you can go for a short, say a 5-day program in Southeast Asia, there are many short-term programs that we can offer. So go online, register for them. So remember, the goal is really 100%, and MOE actually wants a large majority of these students to explore what we call the ACI countries. So ASEAN, China, and India. So if you opt for ASEAN, China, India, your chances of going are actually much higher, because there's so much support for these programs. When students ask what percentage, so I think maybe what you're asking is what percentage of the applicants are successful. And then, of course, if you opt for the very popular ones, usually the English-speaking countries, UK, US, Australia, there is more competition. So that one, I have to admit, it will be more competitive because there just aren't enough places for the demand. But if you are a little bit more creative, original, you want to go off the beaten track, then go for ASEAN, China, and India, because there are many opportunities there where you will have less competition, and the funding might actually be better, because we want to encourage students to go to these countries and to know our neighbors much better. So again, when you say percentage, it depends which countries. So if you go for ASEAN, China, India, it could be that 100% of the applicants will get the places. If you go for US, UK, Australia, it might be a much lower percentage.
I think before I asked Joan about the chances of going for internship and all this, but I think I saw a very interesting point from Ruben's comment about going to ASEAN, China, or India. Now, yes, MOE is encouraging everybody to do that, but actually everything happens for a reason. There must be a reason, and are they like future career opportunities, job opportunities that about in these developing places like ASEAN, China, and India? And perhaps Joan can also comment about this.
This one really, Joan will be the expert. But my quick 2-cent contribution would be, there are many companies that are in Singapore, and also even Singapore-based companies, which are looking for talent, management, other technical talent to go out into these surrounding countries. But there is a lack of people who know these cultures, who know these languages, and are comfortable working in these countries. So if you want to get to be ahead of the competition, ahead of the curve, you really should try something a little bit unconventional. Get to know our neighboring countries, beyond just speaking English. Learn Vietnamese, Thai, Tagalog, Bahasa, learn to speak Hindi, or learn to speak Korean, for example. And you will find that you will be more competitive, because companies might not be able to employ nationals from these countries to go back to these countries to work or to expand businesses. They want the Singaporean and US graduates to do this, and many of our graduates are, maybe more familiar running around Hyde Park or Central Park in New York than know actually what's happening in the capitals around ASEAN. So I would strongly encourage you to do that. But really, Joan is the expert here.
Yeah, let's hear from the expert. Let's hear from Joan.
I'm not really an expert here, but I think at NUS we have really a very wide range of internship opportunities for our students. As you can see, the trajectory has been very positive. Each year we see more and more students going on internships. And with regards to overseas internships, of course, it is competitive because the students would really need to be very proactive in applying. And they also have to recognize that in some of the work environments that are very different from Singapore, they have to manage their expectations. Our students always have eyes for the Western countries. So as Ruben said, the overseas exchange programs are hugely popular in the Western countries. So our advisory to students is, why don't you then complement and take up an internship, an overseas internship in the regions? And this aligns with MOE's intent for more students to gain exposure in Asia, China, and India. Reason being that it's a huge growth opportunities in this economy, in the emerging economies in ASEAN, in China, in India. And we want our students to write on this growth story and benefit from the developments, the renaissance in some of these economies, so that they build networks, they also gained skill sets. Students who go to Vietnam, to go to work in Thailand, Cambodia, Indonesia, they gain a maturity to deal with ambiguities, chaos. And students also can see that the talents in some of these economies can pose a challenge to them as well, particularly when you have MNC setting up in Vietnam, because they do value that Vietnamese graduates being hardworking, IT savvy, and quite entrepreneurial. So when our students hear sharing from industry leaders coming from who have worked in Vietnam, then it is also a wake-up call that they shouldn't be too complacent. And these days, we see that if a student want to rise up in their career, they would need to have work experience beyond Singapore. So this is the reason why we strongly encourage our students. We want students, we simulate a real world application. So we want students to do their homework, to apply. So we don't match students to overseas internship. If you have the drive, if you have the appetite, then you will have to hunker down, do your research, practice your skills, reach out, network, and get opportunities. And so far, I think many students have been successful.
Thank you, Joan. I think you have highlighted a very important life lessons here. That is, NUS facilitate our students to fish, but we do not fish for the student. We facilitate that. We give them the environment. We give them all the software that you need to do the fishing, and how they make use of it. I guess this is entirely up to you, up to them.
But having said that, we do work with employers to bring in the opportunities.
Exactly.
Students must take ownership. They must apply, and then they have to test out their market value with the employers.
Right.
And then with the launch of the internship as a service, even if students do not succeed in getting an internship physically overseas, they can do some of these remote projects, which will still allow them to gain competencies, collaborating with colleagues from overseas office, understanding the nuance of some of the cultures and the projects.
Yeah, in fact, Joan's office has done a lot to bring in opportunities for students to do internship. Now, I saw there's a question there that I really think that I should bring this question to Joan, and that is, a student asked, when can I start internship in NUS? And what are the different kinds of internships that is available in the university? So perhaps, Joan, can you give us some insight about this?
Well, at NUS, we don't restrict students. As I said, we have a wide range of opportunities for our students. So they can start internship as early as in year one, which many of our students do. But some of this, the nature or the scope of the internship will probably be something more general. And then we have academic programs that have compulsory internships that's bound up with academic requirements. So those are usually offered in the third year and the more senior year of studies, where students would have already accumulated quite a fair amount of knowledge, skill sets to be able to take on more specific internship scope related to their learning in that program. So we can combine that. So we have engineering students who will go on their industrial attachment in their third year. But in their first 2 years, they take on internships that is in a non-engineering field, or they may go overseas for an internship. And then in their third year, they fulfill their industrial attachment as part of their academic requirements. And this usually opens doors for students. They tend to get
That's very illuminating, actually. Yeah, because you see, I think let me look back to the beginning of my talk where I talk about, interdisciplinary learning, that you see, one way to actually embrace interdisciplinary learning, of course, you do a double major, you do a contrasting minor or second major. But on the other hand, you can also get into the mode of interdisciplinary thinking by doing an internship that is different from an area. I guess it's a matter of how you interpret the notion of interdisciplinary and all these experiences. I guess it will help tremendously. And it also helps students to find their directions, I guess.
Exactly. Because at internship, students are usually assigned projects that cut across different business domains. And they also work with colleagues from the various diverse backgrounds, departments, skills. So this will greatly benefit them when it comes to approaching a problem and coming out with solutions that will solve a social issue, for example.
And then, of course, I mean, the other aspect about, cross-boundary, going for exchange, I guess, Ruben, you will agree that this is another way to enrich the educational experience.
Yes, absolutely. Sometimes you even meet students who, after going on exchange, doing something very different from their major, and then because they're willing to experiment, because when they go, they're basically frozen their cap, and then so now they're more, and they feel more empowered, more courageous about trying something new, and then they come back and realize, actually I'm graduating with this degree, but I really want to do work in something else. And you really do that when you put yourself in an unfamiliar situation. So I also really want to echo what Joe said, do an internship, go abroad, do a short-term program in something that is quite different, something that you're not familiar with, or a part of the world that you're not familiar with. And you will really discover and learn even more when you do that.
Yes, I fully agree. I think this is really a very nice concept there. And I think there's some other earlier questions that came in that asked about, are the overseas opportunities different or the same for different causes? Or what are some specific examples that maybe, Ruben, you can help to highlight some of this,
Yeah. Well, I also made some reference to this just now, that some courses like medicine, they have a very tight program. Now, but even for medicine, they are coming out with opportunities for their students to go abroad. So please, whatever your discipline, whatever faculty or school that you go into, please find out from them what are courses, overseas opportunities that are unique to that school. Because my office, the GRO, we are in charge of programs that we give out to the whole university. But there are some faculties, business is another one. Business school actually makes kind of overseas experience a compulsory component, a requirement for graduating. So they manage their programs very specific to specific universities. So you would also need to talk to your faculty administrators to find out more. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that many of the student exchange programs are with the more traditional destinations. I mentioned already, English-speaking countries, Europe, America, Canada, Australia, and then other Asian countries that are more developed like Japan, Korea, China, Hong Kong. But the exchange programs with many of the ASEAN and countries and Indian universities are really short-term ones. So the short-term ones could be 1 week, 2 weeks during your summer or winter break. Do look out for those, and you will find them on the web, on the social media platforms that GRO has. And these opportunities are open to students from all faculties. So you just need to plan right from year one, really. When are the pockets of opportunity, the best times for you to go abroad, and then also consult with your own faculty and come back to us if you have questions or problems.
Thank you. And in the shortage of time, let me ask Joan one last question. I think that this is more aspirational. Now, some students ask actually, what are the next steps and opportunities to venture within or outside of Singapore that students are advised to embark on to realize their career aspiration? I think many of our audience here are planning for their future, to shape their future. So maybe I'll ask Joan to share some words of wisdom to them.
Well, a career is a lifelong journey. So I think for students who get a place in NUS, they are blessed because we do have a structured plan to help them navigate. So I think beyond just the classroom learning, it is important that the students build up skill sets, particularly employability skills. Sometimes in the classroom, the learning can be very information heavy. So instead of studying a subject and understanding the subject for the future, it may be more useful for students to learn how to forecast, to learn how to do horizon scanning, to identify trends, and to be able to then also propose solutions to complex problems. So I think students need to balance their time in university with a range of experiences that helps them strengthen their skills, their personal branding, and that sense of what the workplace entails. Because if a student can have a very good class degree, but he's not able to say work well in a team, engage people meaningfully, enjoys learning new things or being proactive, then there will be limitations. The students may be turned away from good jobs, or even if the students land a job, his career may not flourish. So I think the way is really to leverage on the university resources, work with your career advisors, do sign up for some of the programs. The resources are there. Get a mentor, because sometimes mentors can really open doors for you. And of course, yeah, our overseas program, take up overseas internship. We have launched like even the IAS to offer GIG projects. So that there are really tremendous resources and platforms for students to acquire skills.
Thank you, Joan. So let me just summarize. And I think from all the discussion that I had with Ruben, with John, Joan, I think essentially what happens is that in this VUCA world, a diversity of experience, of skill sets, that is very, very important. How do you get the diversity of experience and skill sets? Now, you can get diversity in terms of knowledge. You can make use of our primary major, second major, minor, have an interdisciplinary academic program. Then at the same time, you can actually have a diversity or global perspective about different parts of the world, how different parts of the world function, different culture, how different companies work, that you can look at from the study abroad programs. At the same time, you need to look at how the working world works as well. And that's where you inculcate more soft skills that is really, or future ready skills, to be more precise, that will actually help you to navigate the future. So I guess that is essentially the summary, that the take-home message that we have. And let me borrow a phrase from Shakespeare. What is past is prologue. So let me interpret in this way that all the experiences that you are going to get in your NUS study, it will come handy one day in the future. May not be immediately, 4 years after your graduation, immediately after your graduation, 10 years down the road, you discover that I have done this, I have learned this, and that actually becomes your foundation. So I wish all of you an excellent opportunity to shape your future with us in NUS. I'll pass the time back to Grace, and thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Goh, Prof. Wong, and Ms. Tay for sharing your experiences, insights, and sound advice. I hope they have managed to answer your queries and clarify your doubts. So with that, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that this webinar has been helpful. If you have any further queries, please send them through the Ask Admissions website, which can be found in the chat board shortly. So we also greatly appreciate if you could take a few minutes to fill up the feedback form. You may scan the QR code or access the link that we have provided in the chat board. Your feedback is important to us, and please let us know how we can improve. So we understand that most of you have signed up for an array of open house events lined up for the rest of the day and as well as the rest of the week. So we hope that you have a fruitful time ahead. So thank you once again. My colleagues and I look forward to receiving your application and warmly welcoming you to NUS. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.